Hello everyone, welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I will be drawing for you today. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into this video. Today's drawing is going to be a little bit different from what I'm used to drawing, especially color-wise. So with this drawing, I'm very hopeful that it will turn out good. I'm going to draw a couple that is very much dear to me and has a lot of memories of mine as well, because I used to play role-play game with my friend for a long time and our characters ended up together. I wanted to draw something to represent a romantic relationship. And for this drawing, I'm going to use the tools that I'm most familiar with, which are alcohol-based markers for coloring, some of the shading with colored pencils on top of that, and also brush and fine liner line art. And for the paper, it's my most favorite small-sized mixed medium sketchbook. So this is my character Anne on the right and his crush, my friend's character Violetta, but she prefers people to call her boss. And the very first time she met Anne, she left a very nice message on his bathroom mirror with her lipstick. She left her number, basically a phone number, kissed the mirror, and since then I knew this character should be my character's girlfriend kind of thing. Honestly, I am so much in love with this couple, even though they are super contrast, both like a character and also the couple themselves. They are like super deadly, and I wouldn't want to have a relationship like this in real life because Violetta, she has her skeletons and some mental instabilities, and she was meant to be this way. And my character, on the other hand, is traumatized by some past events, and he was also like a war survivor. So yeah, it's like, you know, Violetta basically found a stray kitten and picked him up and adopted him, and he just fell in love with her kindness kind of thing. And then he found out like how she is really like, and he didn't care much because, like, you know, at that point of time everybody just turned their backs on him. Like his family abandoned him and his friends were basically murdered during the war. The only kind and good person that he knew was Violetta, and that's how he fell in love with her. And like he was just so broken at that point and lonely that he decided he would just protect Violetta with all that he has. And since like their work is very specific to being like a mercenary that are doing whatever job that they can find, and of course it's mostly criminal and everything like that, it's not very safe to work as a shadow runner. Basically they could die any moment. And in cyberpunk setting, it's usually very rare to have a happy ending or like even a good relationship or friendship. So it's very hard to find people you can trust. I'm not mentioning even friendship or love. So firstly, you need somebody you can at least trust so you're not alone. So yeah, Shadowrun is pretty depressing setting if you ask me. But at the same time, it's super action rich because, you know, all the implants and cool guns, and it's a great setting for storytelling because of all the drama and tragic stories that are just united into one team. Like imagine 4 or 5 people having their own stories to tell, and then you guys have to survive somehow. And the harsh world, you know, you can kind of get the taste of dystopian future without having to put yourself in danger. That's what the roleplay gaming are made for. So you can pretend you are somebody from somewhere you are never gonna be. Still, in this type of settings, I want to have some hope. Like, I'm just this kind of person. I want to have good things happen in bad world, and that actually gives it more taste. It's more contrast that feels also more satisfying, because if you are surrounded by bad people and bad world and everything, like, you know, everything is going to hell and you are at least staying a good person or decent person at least and becoming even a little happy, that's very rewarding and satisfying sort of. And that's what I wanted for my character, even though he he had like a very hard past and hard spawn point, let's say. He could find somebody he could fall in love with, and that would actually be either a good ending for this character, you know, a happily ever after, or a brand new beginning with much happier spawn point and a whole new bunch of cool stories as a couple, you know. I wish I could write like a novel or something about these characters in a setting of cyberpunk, of a cool couple that are doing like badass missions and like, you know, super powerful, but also something about their relationship and some adventures that they're having, or maybe some slice of life stories as well in between these action-filled missions and everything, you know. Because when life is constantly in danger, it kind of gives this feeling of being alive. At least that's what these characters from the dystopian futures say. And when you play a roleplay game with the game masters, you're basically writing a story exactly the way you want it to be. So you get to make the decisions for your character, because oftentimes when we're reading someone else's story or like watching a movie or something like that, oftentimes, especially the old ones, the protagonists are so dumb and their decision making is just so so you're like, why would you do that? And tabletop roleplay game, you don't have to do that. You're just doing your own decisions, and you're also using your own imagination. It's up to you how you write your story of the character that you've made. That's why it's so super extremely rewarding and satisfying to play roleplay games like that. So people, start playing roleplay games. It's a very fun activity. I encourage you to do so. Now tell me, have you ever tried tabletop roleplay gaming or any other type of roleplay gaming? I would be very happy to read your stories in the comments. Maybe I can draw out your character in the next video. As for now, I will leave you with the rest of the process for this drawing. And off, music on. And here is the finished drawing. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process and my blah blah blahing. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my work, and leave your comments in the comments, obviously. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.